Welcome back, or welcome to for the first time. For those of y'all that are just now finding us on the pilot episode, I am somewhat of a host, kind of a drunk guy that talks shit about stuff he enjoys. I have Drew with me. I have Perk with me. For those of y'all that have seen us on other stuff, you're kind of already familiar with how this goes. But we're a different format, a different topic. We say fuck a lot less, and we actually cover something that we can't be as wrong about. So this is a perfect setup. Drew, what are we covering tonight?
Your self description of a drunk guy who says just likes to talk shit is wonderful.
It's pretty spot on.
Yes. Yeah, so tonight we have got the Righteous Gemstones. This is going to be our first review of a TV show or movie that is already complete, not one that we're going to react to on a week to week basis per episode. That's kind of what we're going to do in these later week episodes. We're going to get something older, kind of wrap it up, react to it, maybe tell you whether or not you should watch it, shouldn't watch it. That'll be at the end of the show. We're going to start a new thing on these episodes where we rate the show on a core grade, I guess you would say, how many stars we would give the show as a show altogether. But yeah, The Righteous Gemstones, it's another Danny McBride comedy TV show. You either love that style of comedy or you hate it. It really is up to you. It's not your
Mm,
Will
mm.
Ferrell esque similar genre. I would say Danny McBride is, but it's also a lot more
Mhm.
South Park Family Guy style comedy.
I would say Danny McBride's in his own, just
Yeah, I
because,
don't even
like,
know how to explain him.
yeah, he's his own. Like, if you've ever watched Eastbound and Down or Your Highness or Pineapple Express,
I
like he Vice Principal is another great show. He he will push it to the line of this is fucked up, and he will jump well over that line. And you did describe it well when you said you either love it or you hate it, especially when we talk about Righteous Gemstones, because now we're getting religion brought in. And you can fuck around about baseball in Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
You can fuck around about a dickhead vice principal and vice principals. um this one here rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but there was also a lot of people that loved it.
Yeah, so I was one of the people that was skeptical to watch it because it's not when you first look at it, I'm like, I don't love the concept. But the more you look into it, the more you realize it's somewhat kind of being based off of semi realistic mega churches. How some things actually happen at these mega
Mhm.
churches, not to this level per se,
I don't know.
and they may. I don't know, but like there is some stuff that goes on behind the scenes financially and things like that. So the show to me is very funny, but I can understand why some people may steer clear of it.
I'm like, I'll say this flat out. I'm not a TV church guy. I'm in a town of 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, kids still get whipped during preaching. Like, so I've never been around this kind of church, but in my mind, this is exactly how I view it. I see that motherfucker driving a
Mhm.
Denali and having an old fashioned at Ruth Chris, and I'm living in the trailer park, but we get our advice from him. So to me, I think it's hilarious. I think it's one of the best setup shows of all time.
Yeah. So to start it off, um, basically to set the scene for those of you who have not watched the show, this is a family of a mega church. They've got the head guy who it was technically, I was actually unaware of this until I looked into it a little bit. It's designed to have somewhat of a mafia style feel to it, him
Yeah.
being like the mob boss
Mhm.
to the family, and that being Eli Gemstone, which is John Goodman, who is in all kinds of great movies. And he's the head of this family. Danny McBride's the oldest son. You also have Kelvin, who is Adam Devine. I don't really know how you.
I like Divine better.
Yeah. And then Edie Patterson, who plays Judy Gemstone. And
Mhm.
really good cast members that kind of blend together and play this kind of spoiled rich kids that have never been told no in their life. They don't know. They're spoiled in general. And they continue to mess up, and their dad has to bail them out. And there's always some sort of rival family, rival church type deal going on throughout the entire show. Each season's a different
adversity
Yeah.
and drama across the board. I mean, mother
Yeah.
passes.
They do good at having the big bad.
Yep. There's feud between the family. You left out the most important character in my mind, and that's Baby Billy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's Uncle Baby Billy.
Uncle Baby Billy, who's got a coke problem, who I think's a little bit of a sex addict, who will really push the envelope and will show up and ask you for money like once every 3 episodes throughout the entire course of the show.
He just needs an 8-ball and $2 million. That's
it. If you get me an 8-ball and you get me a crew, we're gonna make this shit happen. Like he says that a lot. The cast, though, actually, a really underrated role to me would have to be, like, honestly, the most underrated role. We would have to go with BJ.
Oh, I love BJ.
How he takes all the shit, and like when he's sitting at family dinner and they're cussing each other out, and he's just sitting there with a soft grin. Especially when we get in the monkey era, the monkey should win some type of award.
Dr. Watson.
Oh, Dr. Watson is a fucking badass, and I get why BJ fell in love with him. Like, I would, if we could get a monkey, I would get a monkey. Like,
yeah. So, first thing I want to do is I want to see how each of you, like, what are some of your highlights of the show versus some of your lowlights of the show? Some of the things that you like the most about the show versus some of the things that you may not have liked the most. If I need to, I can go first, or if one of y'all wants to jump in, go right ahead.
Perk, you want it or me?
Yeah, I can take it.
All right, go ahead.
So you bring up the dinners. It kind of reminds me of Landman, how the dinner scenes we were talking about that.
Yeah, the famous dinner scene.
It's really it's really similar. One of my favorite scenes. I can't remember who they all pulled a gun on at the dinner, but when every single person at the table pulls a gun on whoever it was, I can't remember who it was. It was great, and everybody's got their own like custom pistols. And Danny McBride's got a pearl pistol.
It's great. It is sweet looking. Definitely, again, back to that mob cartel-y look to the show. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, man, another thing we left out, like Stifler's in this show. I know he's not Stifler in this show, but I will always call him Stifler. But it's Sean William Scott who plays Corey Millsap, and the families intertwine. And
yes.
And I'm talking later seasons, though, but
last season, but yeah.
When Eli and his mama, after, main mama passes, we end up with a whole other psychopath scene with his dad, whatever. But Danny McBride's character, it really evolves. His oldest son is getting into preaching. Like, my only knock on the show, I love the show. I'll rate the show pretty high. My only knock when we talk about all this, I felt like we left a lot of meat on the bone, man. This thing could have went. I know the way the last season turned, and they did kind of somewhat give it closure, but I actually listened to a podcast with Danny McBride, and he said he didn't want it to feel bland or repetitive and get slow. So he said he just woke up one day and felt like cut it off.
Yeah.
And that disappoints me because, like, with where Eli had turned to from where he was, they had kind of turned the church over to the kids. I just felt like there could have been a lot more. That'll be my only complaint about the show. Outside of that, I think it was phenomenal.
Yeah. So I guess my highlight of the show, and it's not going to be a major role throughout the entire show, but just it's crazy, but it's at the first season, the whole blackmail situation from what we find out is Gideon, which is Jesse's son, blackmailing him about his time that he spent with his boys in Atlanta. That whole scenario is awesome. It's hilarious. It's really good.
Wow.
Gideon's got this stunt double friend of his that's trying to help him pull
scene in the parking lot.
Yes, like the whole situation is hilarious, and then the other situation that I liked a lot, or scenes per se that I like, is the whole cape and pistol thing. It's so weird, but it's very funny.
Do
And
we feel like that it goes on in real life? Is that a real society?
Mhm.
Like, how do we feel about that?
it's very strange if it is. Like it's a very strange fraternity or whatever you want to call it. It's weird.
It's as close as you can get to being gay without being gay in
Very
religion.
very
Yeah,
cultured too.
yeah, like Auburn may have something like that in their home city. But my thing with the cape and pistols scenes, what made it so funny is like they would be trying to have a serious conversation. They'd get to jawing each other. Then you got Eli having to fucking separate shit between Jesse and some other preacher, and he's over there motherfucking dudes
Yeah.
holding the Bible. It's pretty wild, but very funny.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of comedy, and the ending scene to the whole cape and pistol thing when he's going up against, man, I'm drawing a blank on his last name, the guy in the final season that, like, that pastor that's his enemy or whatever. They have the
Mhm.
duel at the end.
I
And
will tell you.
okay, ah, I'm forgetting. I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
Reverend John
What's the last name though? They're kind of known as their last.
Wessler.
What?
It would be Wessler, I'm pretty
Mm.
sure.
I don't think that one's it. I think it's a different one.
Hold
It's
on.
got
I'll
the-
check.
Millsap?
No, it's not Millsap either. I got you right here. Let's see here. It's Vance Simpkins.
That's it.
Yeah, he that whole last scene where they're having the duel, and it's been like a 2 seasons building up to the end of it. Jesse and him have gone neck to neck,
Mhm.
head to head the entire time. Finally builds up to where they do a duel at the end, which again, another crazy thing from this cult-ish society. Simpkins draws, shoots first, misses, and then Jesse's got a shot to shoot him, and he just pulls his gun up and he shoots it, and it hits like a sign or something, shoots some random dude in the society. It was hilarious. So
It
Hit
really
somebody in the
was.
leg.
Yeah. And like it's hard to even break this show down. This would have been one that would have been really good week to week because there is so many characters that come in and out.
yeah,
Because like we hadn't even talked about Keith and like that whole
Keith.
Yeah,
And that
it's Keith.
bothers me, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's Keith.
Yeah, it's Keith. Like, and I'm not talking about marijuana pot grass. His name is Keith. He's Kelvin's. So when we start out, well, in the beginning of the show, he's Kelvin's like muscle and right hand man, and then
Assistant. Yeah.
which we all knew they were fucking, but they hadn't told us they were fucking. It's one of those things.
Mhm.
And Adam Devine plays that Kelvin role so well. We ramp up into where he's competing for man of the year or youth pastor, whatever they describe it as. And, finally for him to,
Follower of the year.
yeah,
Christ following man.
that is it. Top Christ follower and man of the year. He talks a lot of shit to the family about how he's going to win that. It blows up in his face. Then he finally just gets up there and is like, you know what? I'm gay. Like, kind of. And kind of how it plays out. It wasn't just straight
Mhm.
up that, and he wins. But Keith is in this show, like,
So good.
I don't think anybody could play that role better than he plays it. And like I know he's like there's a lot of big name actors in this, like a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if we talk about just popping in for an episode. But
Mhm.
this guy here is great from day one, first episode to the very end. So he was like really impressive to me.
So what's some of the things that y'all did not necessarily like? Were there anything that stood out to you that was maybe got kind of slow at this point, or you didn't like it? Is there any of that, or was it just really a good show to y'all?
Mhm.
Perk.
And nothing immediately comes to mind with that. To be honest, I loved it all the way through. Some of my favorite stuff was the later stuff. like when they're dealing with the militia that was his sister's ex-husband and all that stuff. Like some of that later stuff is my favorite stuff in the show. And like kind of piggybacking on what Neil said earlier, I feel like Danny McBride as a whole, he tends to be a guy that does 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons max. And I feel like he always leaves some meat on the bone with all of his shows. And it sucks, but it's good that you don't get to the point of something like, say, The Walking Dead,
where you're like, this
you've got
is
way
not
too
the
many
same.
seasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eastbound and Down was his longest running show, Perk. You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty positive it was the longest running show.
Right.
I will say, like, speaking on what Perk said and the Danny McBride thing, Perk may be onto something there. The reason he leaves us with meat on the bone and he just wakes up one day and says, end it, find a way to end it right here. That did frustrate me in this show more than any. Like, Vice Principals was short, but like Vice Principals was appropriately short. It was hilarious. Again, it's him and Baby Billy, which is Goggins, who's in a ton of who's in a ton of movies and shows. He's great. He's in a lot of Danny McBride shit, but that, like, they absolutely slayed for those couple of seasons. Cut it off. It was perfect.
Yeah.
My only complaint on this one is the last season was the worst season. And I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was bad at all. But there was so much build up in the first couple of seasons that the last season, I'm not going to say it was a letdown. Again, I enjoyed every episode. It just wasn't the same level because you knew it was ending. But to Perk's,
I hate when they announce it way ahead of time that it's going to end.
Yes, because then it changes your thought process on the entire show. But to what Perk
and that's
said with
something
Danny,
in the fourth season. The fourth season, one thing I didn't think of was the Bradley Cooper episode. That episode, I felt like it was a waste of one of our last 8 episodes.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
That's where I was building up to. And like Perk said, though, with him leaving that meat on the bone, we do sit here and say, I mean, I'm not going to speak for all of us, but I watch everything Danny McBride does.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that 99.9% of it I really enjoy. So maybe he's smarter than we are on that because you keep coming back. You know, if you give a crackhead an unlimited supply of crack, they don't need crack anymore. So, you know, he's good for a reason. But I do agree with Perk. Like the Bradley Cooper episode, like also I could have done without the breakup between Eli and I'm forgetting her name.
Lori.
Yes. Like I felt like we could have went another 2 seasons with them actually hitting it off, the kids working it out, dealing with the crazy ex of hers with Stifler's dad. You know, like it could have went a lot of different ways. But again, I'm not knocking it, and I've never directed or produced a TV show, and not capable of doing one at this level. It was still great, man. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying it's Danny McBride fashion. It really is.
The only, and it's really not a complaint. It's just me finding something to complain about here because again, like you guys both said, it's just, to me it was a pretty good show, all in all. The only thing that I could say is I could have done without the periods of the extended period of episodes where Uncle Baby Billy is missing and not there throughout the entirety of the show because there are a lot of long stretches without Walton Goggins in it, and he's one of the highlights of the show. So, but again, I mean, that's just ticky tack, you know. Like it was a really good show. I think because to put him in, we've got to take some scenes from some other people out that I also enjoyed. So, I mean, I get it.
Also, him being there kind of played into the crackhead uncle that like just shows up for he shows up for Christmas to get his check and to eat good dinner, and he brings a 19-year-old with him, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing, man? So you know, there's pros and cons, but
my thought too is he's such an eccentric character that too much of anything can be a bad thing. Yeah, and it may turn into say how people feel about Ainsley and the mom, I can't remember her name, on Landman. People
Yeah.
feel like that there's too much of that, but it could have turned into that with Uncle Baby Billy because he's a very similar eccentric character that's got a lot going on every time he shows up.
Cracked out, asking for money. He's got a $1 billion idea. I will also say there could have been more of Amber,
I like Amber. She's a good actor.
but also she was kind of the most even keeled, like the voice of reason a lot to everybody. So like when she came in, you knew what you were getting. This is to calm the storm. Let's think about what we're doing.
She did shoot her husband though.
She did. And when she flies off the handle, it's different because when Uncle Baby Billy flies off the handle, it's what everybody expected. I mean, again, we're talking about a church community that the pastor and his children had a monster truck in their compound on Sundays after church at the barbecue drinking bourbon. It's a little different. It's not how I grew up after Sundays at church, but like I said, it is hilarious. And we could nitpick all day on, this character being here or whatever, but in all, man, pretty damn solid.
Yeah. All right. Are y'all ready to do some ratings?
Yeah, we'll rate it.
All right. So I'm going to explain this to our listeners on how this is going to work. Each category, I've got 3 categories. We're going to all rank them 1 through 5 stars. Well, 0 through 5 stars, if you wanted to go 0. I've got 3 categories. You give me 1 through 5 or 0 through 5. I'll add them up. We'll get us a composite score, and that will be the pilot episode's official ranking or rating of the Righteous Gemstones.
So what would a high score be? What is a perfect score?
If we're trying to be like for real and we're not just going to go out of the water, like I would say a real good score would be anything above 4 stars total. So
a perfect score would be 5 stars.
5, yeah. So I think anything 4 and above is going to be a good review.
Honestly, 3.5 because you have 3 people.
That's true. But again, be like brutally honest on this. We're not just trying to say, oh, well, every show's a 5. So like really pack into this thing.
We picked a tough one to start though, man, because like
I know it sets the bar. I understand that. We got to set the bar somewhere. All right. So what was your first reaction of watching this show for the first time? Would you recommend this to your buddy to watch for the first time? 1 or 0 through 5 stars. And I will start. I would go. We're not going to do halves. So I would go 3 simply for the fact of I think it's a good show, but I also think that there are better Danny McBride shows and there are a lot of better TV shows in general. And again, it does have some things that I'm not huge on, but I live with it. So I'll go 3 for how I felt watching it for the first time.
Perk?
I mean, just knowing my group that I hang out with, I feel like I'm going to put a 4 because we all have a very similar, very Danny McBride type of
humor,
comedic.
Yeah,
like we're all into that kind of thing. Reason I don't give it a 5 is I do have a handful of people that I definitely would not tell to watch this show because they would get offended by it. Like my dad, I would never tell him to watch this TV show.
Yeah. So is this how we felt the first time, or is this our recommendation?
So this is how you feel and how likely you would be to tell your buddies to watch it. Like,
okay, I was just making sure I was on the same page.
Yeah.
So I'm with Perk on this. So this will be one of the most different rankings I give a show on telling somebody to watch it. I would put it as a 2.
Yeah.
On my personal opinion, based off the first episode, I would rank it a 5.
Yeah, see, that's why I kind of met in the middle at 3 because, I like the show. I would rank it 4 personally for myself, but if I'm going to recommend it to somebody also, I would go 1 or 2. So
yeah, see, I'm a 2 on that because, I just being brutally honest, outside of our friends that are around our age, If I went to my family, or like we're sitting this weekend having Thanksgiving with Haley's family, and I was like, everybody turn on the Righteous Gemstones tonight.
Yeah.
I would get text at
Mhm.
midnight going, dude, we had to put the fucking kids to bed and have prayer. Like, they wouldn't say fucking. That's me naturally. Obviously, I agree with the show a lot. So, but no, I give it a 2, but that's not me ranking it bad. That's just my honest opinion on how much I would tell somebody to watch it.
Yeah, I probably need to change the name of that question to how likely would you be to recommend the show to somebody?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, better wording.
Yeah. So, Parker, you want to leave yours at 4 with that, or do you want to stay where you're at?
With renaming, I'm going to drop to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, now, if we're talking about just our golf buddies and cornhole buddies, I'm a 5.
Mhm.
All right. Our next rating is, what is the likelihood of you yourself rewatching this series at some point?
5. I'll
This
be
is a
quick.
5 for me as well here,
Same.
and 5 for Perk. Okay, that's
This one's pretty easy to me, boys. Like, let's say 3 years from now, us 3 are fucked up sitting at my bar in here. This is something we can cut 3 episodes on and laugh our asses off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I already have rewatched it since the last season came out.
yeah.
There you go.
All right. And our last and final question for the rating: is it a good cast, and did they fit their role properly? Man, that was wild there. Did they fit their role properly? So, on this category, it's, do you think they did a good job hiring enough big name cast members? But do you also think they did a good enough job? Man, I'm struggling over here. Do you think they did a good enough job placing lower level actors and actresses in roles that they were able to execute and play well? And once again, I know we're off to a hot start here. We're really high on these things, but this is a 5 for me again, because the list of cast members is excellent.
Second to no show. Second to no show.
As well as, like we said, the guys they got to play the quote unquote weirder guys in BJ and Keith, they're perfect.
Killed
They
it.
play those roles excellent. So that one will be a 5 for me as well.
Yeah, there's no way you can tell me you have Danny McBride, Edie Patterson, Adam Devine, John Goodman, Cassidy Freeman. That's just me reading the top ones. We got Walton Goggins, Tim Ball, Jody Hill. Like, this thing is,
And Adam Devine also, I don't want to let this go unnoticed, plays the perfect new school youth pastor guy who's
Mhm.
just very different.
I saw him at Fat Walmart today, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
he is killing it.
Yeah.
Also, like,
Yeah.
the Skylar Gisnode kid, whatever his name is, he was in the new version of Vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, these are guys that also they had on a show before they had kind of got their start.
Yeah.
And I talked to y'all about that in private. That's big to me. Like, when we go back and watch,
Mhm.
I don't know, 90210 or like Dawson's Creek, shows like that where you see actors really get their start. Friends, like, multiple shows we could say that about. This is a show that not only had huge name actors or actress, it also had people we've never heard of before that killed it in that role. So, like I said, this show is second to none on the cast. This is a 5. I don't think that's very much debatable.
Kurt?
Yeah, it's a 5 for me too. There is not a single character on this show that I can think of somebody that I feel like would fit that
Agree.
character better.
Agree 1,000%.
John Goodman. Could you see anybody else being Eli? Like, honestly,
No.
And like, it's like that. If you go down the list of every character that not only the main characters, every character that appears in the show, you've got like Eric Andre that shows up in season 2 as the Texan guy, the fake cowboy preacher. Like, he plays that role perfectly. His wife is perfect. Like, it's you've got what's his face from Diary of a Wimpy Kid that's playing the crazy militia dude. Like it's insane. You got Sturgill Simpson that comes in at one point to sing a song for the militia.
Macaulay Culkin
This
has an
show
appearance.
this show is insane.
Yeah,
So-
like just not to leave anybody off. Shea Wigham, Steve Zahn, Macaulay Culkin, Sturgill Simpson, like he said, Stephen Dorff, Stifler from American Pie, like, and we're talking about dudes that had a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
They killed it on this, man.
Absolutely. Okay. And with all that being said, the pilot episode's first official rating of a show and or movie that we're going to do, the Righteous Gemstones get a 4.2 star rating, which is, again, very high. I think this is going to be one of the higher ratings we give out. I know we're going to continue down a path of going into good TV shows. At some point, we are going to have to review some shows that aren't as good. But I do think this is going to be one of the stronger ratings we have.
Yeah, I thought this would finish pretty high between us three, considering we all three like Danny McBride stuff.
Yeah.
I will say for people that find this and start listening to it, like if you come back to us and say this is a 2 at best, this shit's garbage, I get it.
Yeah, it's just because you don't like Danny McBride's comedy.
And like Drew said when we started, if this don't get you hard, it's just not going to. He's not a kind of guy that you may like on Monday and hate on Wednesday. You either love it or you don't. I think it's a pretty fair rating, but I'm somebody that likes this. But also keep in mind with us going forward, we will look into anything, even if it's a genre none of us three care about. Like, we're an open book on this. We're three dudes that watch a shit ton of TV. Let us know what you want. Like, we'll do a fucking vampire show. We don't care. Like, we'll do rock climbing. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm watching Alone right now, which is a survival show. You know, so like, we're a pretty open book. We're not going to agree on everything. I'll tell you right now. There's some shows Drew is very passionate about that I am not, and we know that. So just kind of bear with us as we get our footing. But also, like, the more feedback you give us on where we need to head, the more we can do. So I think this is a fair rating.
Yeah, rather than just sitting back and going, man, I really wish they'd talk about this. Comment.
Just tell us. I promise you we'll do it. I promise you. I got time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, y'all got anything else before we head out?
I enjoyed it, fellas.
No? All right. Well, we will be back early in the week next week. We're going to react to Season 2, Episode 2 of Landman on our next episode. And then again, we'll be back later in the week next week with another TV show or movie that is already completed. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever show you want us to do next.
Or movie.
Or movie.
Anything you think of.
All right. We'll see you guys later.